Hello everyone and welcome back to the session. Now in the previous three sessions, we have created the bottom plate, we have saved it. We also learned how to define the interface for the very first time there. Then we use that interfaced body in with the help of the interface body which we created here in the bottom plate. We created the top plate, okay, totally with the reference of the bottom plate. Then using the reference again from the bottom plate, we created a guide pillar. So technically these two files are referred with this one. And using these two files, that is the top plate and the guide pillar, we created the guide bush. Now in this session, what we will be doing is we will be creating an assembly out of these four parts. Now to do that, what we are going to do is we are going to click on new. Again, I have to make sure, now before we start, I'll click on cancel for a while. Before we start, we have to go to file and we have to select this option called assembly load options. Now here in assembly load options, we have to make sure the load behavior is set to from folder. That is all the files the software will be saved in the same folder. In load, I'm going to select all components, and in options, I'm going to select fully load. Okay. Also activate this option called load interpart data, so that if there is any link between the files, that will also be loaded. Okay. Here in reference set, I'm going to select use model as my default reference set for now, and I'm going to click OK. Now, once this particular setting is done, now we can continue with creation of an assembly. Okay. Now I can click on new and I can give this a name as press tool assembly. Okay. Now, when we are creating an assembly, we have to go to the assemblies tab here. And also on the left corner here, we have to activate the assembly navigator. Okay, so if I go to the assemblies tab here, I can click on add component and I can browse for which component I want to place inside my assembly. So I can click on browse from here. I can select my bottom plate. I can click OK. And now my bottom plate is been made visible in the assembly. Now, one thing here in component anchor, I can choose absolute. In assembly location, I can choose absolute work part because I want to just keep it in the same location where the part was created. And here in reference set, make sure model is there. If you want to rename the part, this is a good time to do that. If you want component name to be changed, you can change it here. Now I can click OK and I can click yes because the software is asking me, as this is the first part of your assembly, do you want to create a fixed constraint? And I'm saying yes, I do want to create a fixed constraint. Now I have a simple bottom plate assembled in this particular part. Now next thing what I need to do is I need to assemble 4 of the guide pillars. I'll start with one, and to do that I'll click on add component. I can, in this list, I'm going to choose guide pillar. Here I have one guide pillar. Here in placement, I'm going to choose this option called move. I'm going to click on this button called specify orientation. Okay, this area called specify orientation. And I'm using this triad. I'm going to move the guide pillar around and place it in a non-location, like the location which is not specific to this particular plate. So I'm going to place it somewhere over here. Okay. Here again, it's a good time if you want to change the component name and also reference sets. For now, I'll click OK. And now we have a guide pillar floating on the screen. Now what we need to do is we need to add a constraint between the guide pillar and the bottom plate. To do so, here we have an option called as assembly constraints. Okay. If I activate this option called assembly constraint, I have few constraints to choose from. Okay. So here we have some constraints which we can choose from. I want to use in this condition align lock constraint. This will not only lock the center points, but it will also lock the rotational movement. Okay, so I don't want any rotational movement for now, so I'm going to choose the align lock constraint. Now after selecting align lock constraint, I can pick this bottom end of the circle, this bottom edge, and here also I can pick this bottom edge. Okay, so once I pick the two bottom edges, I can see my align lock constraint has been applied. Now I can click OK, and here in the constraints navigator or in the constraint drop down, I can see a fixed constraint applied to the part and also an align lock constraint applied between the guide pillar and the bottom plate. Okay. Now, next thing what I need to do is I need to add 3 more guide pillars, and I want to do it in a similar way. If I want, I can again, add a new guide pillar and, do the same things again and again. Otherwise, there is an option here, okay, called as remember constraint. If I activate this option called remember constraint, I can select the component. I can select the constraint to be remembered. In this case, it is the align lock constraint. And here I can click OK. Now once I click OK, now the software remembers that constraint has been applied along with guide pillar. Now I'll save this file so that our progress is saved. Now I'll click on assembly constraint again. Sorry, I'll click on add component here. I'll select guide pillar from this list. And this time I want to add 3 of them. So I'll just increase the count to 3. Here I will move it so that I can see all the 3 over here spaced, somewhere in the graphical area. I'll click OK. Now it is asking me to redefine the constraints. Now why this option is coming? Because we remembered some constraint with the part. So here it is asking me to redefine this 3 align lock constraint. So first one, let's say I want to place it here. Second one, let's say I want to place it here. Third one, let's say I want to place it here. If you want, you can also flip if there is a requirement, okay, of flipping individual constraint. Now I'll click OK. And now I have all 4 guide pillar placed. After placing the guide pillar, the next thing what we are going to do is I'm going to try to place the top plate. Now to place the top plate, I can again click on add component command. Here I can click on browse and browse for the top plate. In this case, I don't want 3 top plates. I just need 1. So I'll reduce the number back to 1. Here I can choose placement move. I can click on specify orientation and move the top plate around so that I can clearly see top plate separated from this assembly. Now I'll click OK. And now I have top plate over here. Now I'll go to assembly constraint. And because I want my top plate to be movable, I can select this option called touch align. Here in touch align, I can choose a condition called infer the center axis, means match the center axis. I can select the center axis of this hole and match it along with this hole. Also, I can select the center axis of this hole and match it along with this hole. Matching 2 holes will be more than sufficient in order to place the top plate in the correct location. Now, if I drag the top plate, you can see the top plate is moving. It is not at a correct distance. So what I can do now is I can activate this constraint called as a distance constraint. So here we have a distance constraint. Now, after activating distance constraint, what I can do is I can select this face and this face, and here I can give a distance of 180. Once we define the distance of 180, I can click OK, and now we have top plate properly placed. Now, obviously, placing the top plate is not that simple in practical condition. It cannot float like this. We need to have, some sort of bush over here, and we have created some bush. So let us try to place those bushes. I'll click on add component here. I'll click on browse. I'll select the guide bush. Okay. Here, first, let's start with placing first one. I'll move it somewhere over here so that I can clearly see it. Again, I can go to assembly constraint. I can use the same constraint called align lock. I can pick this edge and this edge, and I can lock it together. Now what I can do is I can choose this option called remember constraint. I can select the guide bush and the constraint to remember. I can click OK, and now I can add. So I'm exactly doing the same thing what I did with guide pillar. Now I can add few more guide bushes, particularly 3 more of them. Okay, I'll place it somewhere over here so that I can clearly see them. I'll click OK. I'll select this edge, and this edge in order to place it properly, and I'll click OK after that. Now we have an assembly in which we have 1 top plate, 1 bottom plate, 4 guide pillars, and 4 guide bush. Okay, I hope you understood how we can create a simple assembly like this. And you can also notice all the components are properly fitting together. They have no alignment issues whatsoever because we created everything using product interface and everything was referenced properly. So it is not like when you use product interface, everything will happen automatically. We as a user also have to refer the things properly. Now in the next session, I'll give you a proper detailed workaround on what will happen, okay, by using or what we can do if we use product interface properly. So thank you very much. Have a great day.